Oh no! That'll make for a good
kick right.
shot trace. Yeah. The wind got that. You'll see the wind.
Oh, that definitely left the screen on shot tracer.
It's not ideal.
Did you get that on video?
The next one you leave short, you owe me $1.
Oh yeah, baby! Woo!
Oh,
That's awesome.
and that's just a taste of what you're about to see on the back nine of Pacific Dunes, the #2 rated public golf course by Golf Digest, and easily one of the most beautiful golf courses I've ever played. It's got to be as good as Pebble. I haven't played both, but if you have, let me know in the comments which one you prefer. This one's right on the coast of Oregon. The course blends in with the native sand dunes as if it had been there for 100 years. If you missed the front nine, I suggest you go back and catch up to see this course during sunrise. We're picking up action on the 10th hole after a disappointing 38 on the front with 1 birdie and 2 bogeys. You come around the corner to play the 10th and the course opens right back up to the ocean. A spectacular par 3 framed up against the coast. The hole's a medium length par 3 playing at 170 yards. We didn't have much of a wind on this October day, but with the pin being front right, the miss is to the right and short.
Get down.
And that was pulled left.
All right, we're alive. We're probably even putting.
Really a poor swing that risks getting up in the dunes.
Yeah, I can tell you where. This is what pros do so well too. They hit it so far out of, so far away.
Good players get all the good breaks.
It's a little easier to play golf than at Grants game.
It's all going to feed right? As long as I keep it right at that mound, it's going to feed right.
Not as right as you think it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot straighter than you think. That'll work.
And that's a good chip, but TK the caddy was right. It didn't feed to the right as much as I expected. And this is why Trey was whining about my shot. He actually missed less to the left than I did, but he was rewarded with an awful lie on the side of a dune. Just has to chop it out and let it run.
Tough shot, not bad.
And after all that, we'll have about the same distance for our par putts.
Feels like it's right in the valley.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll go right in.
You heard the boss. Right edge of the hole should go just a fraction to the left.
Yep.
And I pushed that a smidge. I started it a ball outside and it just grazes the edge. Needed it inside the hole, and that's a bogey. A poor tee shot cost me there.
Out of way, Trey!
Nice putt. Come back. Oh!
There it is.
See? Putts can be made.
135, 40 bends.
The 11th hole is a shorter par 3 that is right on the coast. A gorgeous hole, but with my draw, it's not a tee shot I'm comfortable with. I need to make sure to start this one to the right of the flag. It's just a 9-iron into a light breeze.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Yeah. Woo! Good shot.
And that's a good one to the center of the green. I'll have a good uphill look at birdie.
Yeah, I'm doing it for him. It's a video for him, dude.
I ain't judging, man. You having a good time or what?
Check it out.
You want a little different weather?
Yeah, it's coming. We're gonna get it whether we want it or not.
The forecast called for a light rain in the afternoon, which we'll get at Bandon Trails in the next set of videos. But walking up and down the course with good company is a heck of a way to kill a day. Makes you appreciate life and how great golf is just that much more. Alright, just a touch under 20 feet for birdie.
Right off your putter. Getting popped on you.
Good speed, but that was never high enough. An easy par to stay at +3 on the round.
God, I am so smitten on you right now.
The GoPro's gonna
I
explode.
am so smitten with you right
Boy,
now.
that escalated quickly. I'm surprised your watch didn't say something, you know? Jeez.
So you've seen those back-off challenges on social media. Trying to hit this tee shot and a friendly joke was just across the line enough to back me off. Takes a lot to distract me, but that was plenty. So I reset, go back through the routine, and still couldn't do it. Just couldn't quite clear my mind. It was a good joke.
I like the right end of it. And
Right
you
end
need
of
to keep it basically between that and the dead tree.
So that leaves me an awkward lie from the rough where I'm trying to sling a 3-wood through the valley towards the green on this par 5. And that's poorly struck, fat and close-faced, barely got any of it.
No big deal.
I hit it so bad it's good. A good miss. It stays short of the bunker with just a short wedge onto the green. I really don't practice these short wedges at all these days, and it's definitely an area where I can improve. It's an area where you can get it close to the hole and gain strokes, and I honestly am just guessing at the distances.
Definitely down a little bit.
So, 16 feet for birdie, fairly straight putt, but fast. And again, that's on the low side. Easy par, but I'd like a better chance from 65 yards. Which brings us to the 13th hole, another gorgeous hole right along the coast.
Well, I'd have plenty of tees if you would have taken out my bag.
Oh, holy. Let me take a look. Hold on, bud. Yeah, you don't have any left in here.
Oh, I'm gonna hit 3-wood? Yeah. My bad.
Partner, right at the flag, a little left of the flag. You got tons of room down there.
The 13th is not a long par 4, it's a generous fairway, but there is trouble on both sides as you saw watching the intro to this video. With just a 3-wood, throw it down there in the fat part with a good target. This one fits my eye.
Yep.
And that's a great swing, gets it out there into position A.
This is a pretty legit golf course. I mean, you got more cliffs than Pebble.
I like it a lot. I can see myself prioritizing coming back here, or I have it better to where I could definitely see myself prioritizing a return trip to get more familiar with it.
Oh, I got to come here once every couple of years now. It's legit.
125.
Great, you know.
It looks like short is dead, right?
What is that?
So 30 is better than 40.
Yes, sir. Right here, your 120 flag. 117 flag. Little breeze, little uphill. Partner, I'd hit this 125, one goes. Okay, right at it. Heads up, boys.
Permission to buzz the tower? Yeah, wind's back into us.
Well, I can't believe we're going to see rain. It's just odd.
So I've got a pitching wedge here, which is a lot of club for 120, but I confirmed with TK that long is better than short. It's uphill, into the wind, a little cooler out here by the ocean. And that ball just took off. It kind of knuckled like there was no spin on it.
It did come off weird.
That came
That
off,
was like a flyer.
partner, that came off almost like a top spinner. That was weird. Did you hit it on the toe or something?
Nope. Nope.
You see the ball spin? The
Yeah.
way it was flying?
Somehow that ball rolled all the way to the very back of the green, leaving me with a monster putt up and over a ridge, with the last third being
from
pretty
right where I was
downhill.
standing, this is all down right here.
I'm a long ways away.
A little bit up to get to me. But that is definitely down. 5, 6. But you got this.
So I'm just trying to get the speed right and have a chance at par. Halfway there, I'm thinking this is a pretty good putt. but it's not as high as TK wanted, and it just keeps trickling. Miller and Trey getting a kick out of it as it slowly rolls off the green and well down the fairway. I don't know who won the bet, but I'm in trouble.
Oh no.
We're not going that way.
You want your 56? I figured. Because I left the bags all the way at the trailhead.
TK is not happy.
Tough hole.
And there's the walk of shame down the fairway. Can't say I've ever putted a ball 30 yards off the green before, and I thought it was a good putt. So now I have a wedge, and I'm not gonna mess with this false front. Which means I'm going to have a long putt for bogey.
Good
putt.
That's brand new.
Almost, Billy.
Sneaky.
We continue whining about it, but it is what it is.
D, straight.
That's enough.
I keep a good attitude on the bogey try,
Not gonna get there.
Hey, fellas.
but it's a double to take me to +5 on the round.
Watch the black pop up here in a second.
Those would be sea lions, sir.
Oh, is it sea lions? Yeah, then my bad.
The 14th hole is another par 3 going back the other way. I watch as Trey and Miller hit decent ones that both end up short.
I didn't smash mine either. Clearly.
The caddies give me 120 as the number to the middle flag. Par Golf tells me it's 117 to the front edge. I've got a 48 degree, which is my 120 club. And in retrospect, it was either a bad number or there was more wind than we could feel. That would make sense because my last approach went long and this one is well short. My tee shot lands on the front of the green and rolls backwards off that false front. I am not happy. Matt glanced at his watch and adds 5 yards for Carlos. Now, I'm not beating up on the caddies. If it was a bad number, it was the only one of the trip. But all 4 of us were more than a club short, so we likely misread the wind. Should have used a Par Golf caddy. So I've got a tricky chip up the hill, and I catch way too much of it. It rolls well past, and now I'm leaking oil. That's a handful of consecutive shots losing significant strokes to a tour pro. I've got 24 feet for par to stop the bleeding, and it's low again.
No. Low all the way.
Another bogey moves me to +6 on the round, and 75 is getting further out of reach.
It's in there, dude.
But the 15th hole is a shorter par 5, and a good tee shot will put me in position to hit the green in 2. Par Golf shows a generous fairway as long as I stay away from the bunkers on the right-hand side. With the wind blowing left to right, I block it.
Get down.
That's a typical miss for me in that wind, and the ball runs through the fairway to sit up in the rough. I've had this lie a few times now. We don't have grass like this in Texas, and each time I've hit it fat.
Oh, run. Oh, that's going
With the
run.
2-iron, I get away with
What
it,
ski
but
area?
it's going to be short of the green. That leaves me a tricky pitch up and over this mound without much green to work with. I clip it tight and hold for the applause,
No? Huh? Really?
but I don't get any. It runs out to a solid 18 feet. And from this view, you can really see the punch holes on the green. Unfortunately, we didn't catch them at their best, but the courses were still in great shape. That miss is low again, and it's just a par.
Almost had it.
I am running out of holes, and I need a couple birdies.
Good stroke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there he is.
Birdie?
Yes, sir. Good putt, man.
How many have we had on this trip? 5? 6?
One more now.
Not enough. The 16th hole is a fun hole. We're heading inland now, and we have a drivable par 4 at around 290 yards. It is tighter up around the green, but there's a bailout to the right if you've missed. I've got a driver in hand, and I'm taking dead aim.
Yeah.
That's your line, Carlos.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that rolls all the way up to pin high left in a great spot.
If you like perfect.
Might have missed it by a yard.
So now I have to go up over this little hill, but I have a putt for eagle from just off the green in what Par Golf considers a near green. Just get the pace right and it's birdie at worst. I'm trying to make this. It's a snaking putt that goes left first, then right,
Do it!
Hang it.
Oh, you.
and it goes right over the lip.
I'd say you started here.
Even if Trey won't give it to me, it's a tap-in birdie to get back to +5 on the round. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to see more. So I'm going to need a birdie one of the last two to shoot 75 or better, and the 17th hole is a longer par 3. Downhill to a green that sweeps hard from right to left. This matches my preferred draw shape with an iron. So I'm hitting a choked 5-iron, a lot of club, and long irons aren't a strength, so I'm aiming well to the right. And that was executed exactly as I saw in my mind. It lands in the middle of the green, turns left, rides the ridge right past the hole to the left, and it'll be on that left-hand side of the green.
Just putt the ball where I tell you.
Please.
I want to make this, and I've seen this putt. Matter of fact, I was in a group where everybody had to putt, including the caddies. 6 putts from this same spot to that hole. I know exactly how much it breaks.
TK was adamant that he knew this putt. He got all worked up, gave me his most focused read of the day. This is not an easy putt.
Okay?
It's a 30-footer that I gotta start 8 feet outside left, and speed is critical to let it take the slope.
When it gets to its peak. Yeah.
A little firm.
Did I hit it?
Did one. Look at this. Did one.
Oh,
Finally made one.
that's awesome.
Finally got
There's
the
read. Back door.
Crazy putt and the first long one of the trip. That ball turned 90 degrees to just fall in the hole, and that's a birdie. Back to back, +4 now. So here we are, what we've all been waiting for, the 18th hole with a chance to break 75, a par 5 with a tough tee shot. So TK's giving me the driving iron. I gotta stay out of the deep bunkers, and a good drive will give me a shot to hit the green in 2.
Where do you want me to hit this?
And that's one of my narrower tee shots, and I just don't commit to it.
All we gotta do is
Hit a
up and down there.
toey hook that's in the fairway, but not deep enough to go at this green in 2.
Get it done.
So I've left myself a blind layup over this deep bunker, just a 6-iron to get me a good wedge into the hole. I've already made the mistake off the tee, so it's important not to compound that by trying to do too much. And that's flushed just left of my line, which will leave me a good look. And there's Carlos in that bunker I was trying to avoid, and you can see why. It's deep, a tough shot to get out of. Carlos does a good job. I've left myself a 9-iron in from about 145, more than I wanted, but it's in the fairway, and anything on the green gives me a birdie putt. I don't love it, but it's dancing.
Big D's got the birdie putt here. Super fast putt coming down the hill. Good swing from left to right. He's rolled the putter pretty good today. Let's see if he can't find the cup here. Looks like he really wants it. It's not high enough. You hit it like
So just a little too careful there. It'll be an easy 5 to shoot 75 on the number.
tough putt, man.
That's my best round of the trip thus far, on arguably the toughest of the courses we played. It's a par 71, so that's +2 on both sides with 3 birdies total. Overall, the Par Golf app shows that I gained strokes driving on a scratch golfer, but I gave strokes away on approach and putting. The putting I'll let slide, as the greens were still not quite as pure as they could be, but the irons have got to get better. With the Par Golf app, I know what to work on. Make sure to like and subscribe. More Bandon is coming. We still have Trails and Sheep Ranch, 2 phenomenal tracks.
Hey, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, he stares at me. You should